like really casual recipe guy. Okay.
Recipe guy.
Yeah,
there he is sitting right next to you.
Oh my God. When Tom Nom Nom called you out for your prompt, I laughed out loud so hard.
Tom Nom.
So hard.
Okay.
He was like, why are you talking to your clanker like that? No, it's terrible for your resting heart rate. I'm on the Bryan Johnson 38 beats per minute.
Well, you look like you're 12 years old, so congrats. You look like you're Bryan
Is
Johnson.
your heart rate higher when you're a child?
Is it?
I think so.
The skin of
Much
a baby.
higher. I think the resting heart rate of a baby is like 90 beats per minute.
Yeah.
It's like very, very high. No, I'm trying to get sub 45 right now.
Sub 45.
Yeah, I'm at like 48.
So while you're sleeping, or is it?
So yeah,
when
resting, sleeping heart rate.
Okay.
Like as I enter the average.
Is that,
it's the average that it gets measured in the night.
Is that thought to be connected to longevity?
Big time.
See into your soul.
Yeah.
Show me your resting
what he
heart
said.
rate, and I can see into your soul.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah.
That's what he wrote.
Yeah.
Oh, Nick, you're on X too much. We saw the
did
same
assume a
thing.
lot of it.
That's what he said. He was like,
I think our feeds overlap.
show me your
Wow.
resting heart rate, and I could see it.
Okay, I'm reading some different shit, guys. I was reading an article that was that Dario talked about. Dario from Anthropic fame had talked about where he sees AI improving humanity. And that was like in one vein, it was like biology and longevity and stuff. And then he linked to a nature.com article where they have increased the not only lifespan, but health span of animal organisms, biological organisms by 20 to 50%. And that means like better mitochondrial function, like and longevity. It's like literally better.
I mean, you saw him talk about, he's like, the moats are in medicine.
The moats are in medicine.
Did you see that?
Was that from his latest podcast with?
It was more like a panel type video, but that's the article. That's the essay I told you to read. So you did.
I read that.
There's the new one, which is like, watch out. And then there's the first one.
Yeah, the previous
one, which is the hopeful, look at what this will do for the world and humanity one.
Yes.
What's the title of that?
I'll be paraphrasing, but it's like our lovable machine or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. It was like last year.
It was 2024, but I read it this morning. Yeah. I read it this morning and I was thrilled because this was like,
it's a humanity boner.
Yeah. It's like finally an optimist talking about this stuff and how it can like benefit humanity.
He's showing good balance though, because he had that essay. It's optimistic, but the most recent one comes with some serious warnings.
Agree. So here's like where I land on it now. Where I land on it now is like kind of same as it ever was. It's like, this is a tool. And in every case in human evolution, a tool can be used for good or for bad. Like a screwdriver can also be like a fatal weapon if you choose to use it that way.
Splitting the atom?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, that one, I think...
It's always been this way. It's always been this way, and it always moves in tandem. And every time a new technology is created, you get both simultaneously. You receive both sides of the sword. You cannot...
Yeah. And I'm just
you cannot avoid the other side of the sword.
And I'm reluctant to just like be too doomerish to only look at what could go wrong.
Well, that is what's wrong with the thinking.
Yeah.
That is what's fundamentally wrong. The only right take is the hybrid take, in my opinion. It's what it's always been.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I've always tried to do here. When I talk to you guys, I'm like,
I think we lean. It's
messy.
Everybody leans too doomerish, but I think when we talk about it for business use cases, you guys obviously light up and talk about how great it is. But
we've talked about the business use case that is like pretty bad and what it could do to software, what it could do to companies, what it could do to, like, right now we're at the point where we talked about last week, like end of software. Is that real? Like, all it's going to take next is to be able to just port your data over. Like, you're locked in right now to so many pieces of software because it's difficult to export. So we solved the first phase, which is I can now create custom software by speaking in natural language, custom to exactly what I need for my organization. I just created my own Salesforce, my own Clavio, my own whatever, right? But your problem the reason you're locked in, and the reason probably people like you and me haven't fully just ported over into our own enterprise grade software is because that migration is
Yeah.
extremely difficult. But
Yeah.
if we saw AI will solve the migration next. The first thing it solved is the creation of software and dropping that cost down to zero. I also think it's lame to say it's zero because it's very expensive, but let's just say it's like going to zero. The next phase is the migration.
Right.
But that's really bad for a lot of
Can
companies.
ask you for some advice? Because like I think you guys are a step ahead of what we're doing in our company. Like
It's just different.
yeah, no, but I think you guys
You
are
like use it to be productive. We like use it to build.
right.
Yeah.
But okay, one thing that we're coming about, everyone's like using skills now, they're building skills. What we're realizing is that there's the developers who are building stuff, and then there's the non-developers who are also building stuff. And some people have different infrastructures. And you mentioned the data layer. That's important, but also it's like when you look at a normal web app, data layer, business logic layer, UI layer, right? The business logic layer, which to me is now all the skills and the exceptions and the memory, that stuff is more important. And now I'm worried about as the dev team's doing their own thing and each individual role is like doing their own thing, which is great, want to encourage it. But I'm thinking about how do I maintain all this context, business logic, exceptions, reference documents in a place where it's somewhat manageable and I know what's going
very
on.
important. It's
Yeah,
becoming
so
super important.
Do you guys have like a common infrastructure which you build everything on? Because I would love to talk about Claude Code is great. You got me on it last week. I built some stuff I was using just to chat and skills. And Claude Code just leveled me up. So you got me on that, and that was really helpful. And everyone else is starting to do it too. But I'm a little worried about it not being open source on my server. And
What exactly? Like what? Everything you're building or your memories?
Yeah, I guess that was a bad question. Like part of it is one, I want to be able to contain and take the context and business logic with me. Let's say new model comes out from a different company. I want to be able to transfer it. That seems somewhat easily able to do. You literally take the skill files maybe.
Yeah.
But how do you take the memory? And then the other part is just like only the owner would think about this is all that stuff is open in discovery in the case of a lawsuit, right? Like anything you chat with, you know, it could be business partner stuff, it could be employee, it could be a customer, and not that there's anything bad, but you could use it to misconstrue intention, right? Because like you look at your own chats and you're like, well, I wasn't trying to do anything bad there. I was just curious about.
Yeah, thinking about edge cases.
Yeah, I don't know. Like there's like so many things that could be misconstrued. Like think about your text, all your text messages with all the people. You could so many things can be misconstrued about your intentions or what you're actually doing or what you meant versus what you said. And I'm a little worried about it. You know, that all this stuff is available.
It's like part of the public domain now.
Right, and I guess it's no different than our Slack chats. Like those have always been part of it, and we don't hide those or do anything with those or emails or anything. But I don't know why. This is a little, it just feels right that I should.
Well, because we know that
be able
this
to control
technology will go into really good hands and really bad hands. And we know that like top-down authoritarian control could easily lead to situations where like you could be, you know, subpoenaed for nonsense from somebody that's like
The government?
competitor, your government, whatever. And it's just like, it's all there. I'm not as good at addressing the second part. The first part, I need to think about that more. That's really interesting. The first part, I'll give an anecdote. Like Huberman reached out yesterday and was like asking you and I, like, hey, I know you guys are like really into this stuff. Like, here's my setup. What do you think? And I'm just like one piece of it that I pointed out was he talked about, I think he wanted to use Obsidian for his memory layer. And this is his OpenClaw.
That's another
setup.
tool.
It's another tool, but he was talking about his OpenClaw setup.
Okay.
He was going to do it like locally on a PC, which I was like, oh, PCs, God, I haven't touched one since I was an infant.
By the way, he tagged you, Nick. I don't know if you saw that.
Well, Nick hasn't been in Discord in like 2 years. Literally 2 years. He'll go, episode is live. And then just like,
Open the door, throw a grenade, close the door.
That's Nick in Discord. But good questions in there. And then was like, just saying like deep research kind of thing. I'm going to use Notebook LM. And I think that I commented back, if I didn't, sorry, Huberman, but this is what I think, that like that memory layer should be owned and centralized into one location.
Like on your server or
on your machine, or the way I like it is like, think of, like your Claude MD file, your memory file, you have skill files, you have memory files. Those memory files are really important, and you want them markdown. Like AI, just LLMs like markdown files.
Right. Yeah.
So like having a markdown file that just continuously be evolving is great. And Obsidian is like a owned version of Notion.
Okay.
So people that like Obsidian are just like big nerds, because all it's really doing is it's creating an overlay structure on top of markdown files that you own. So like
I'm just laughing. I'm laughing because like there were times when like Steven would be talking about something like financial, and Armand would be like, "What are you talking about?" And I want you to pause for a second, because you're getting really deep into a realm where I think the audience is like, "What are you talking about?" Because I'm just sitting here like, "Okay, you're getting really deep."
Well, this is exactly what I thought about this morning. I actually had a couple moments in my head. I was like, if we end up talking about my OpenClaw setup, like, how should I talk about it?
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe I start with the really Eli 5 and then give a little bit.
for personal, like, think about it knows where you live and who your family is and what your job is. Like, that stuff is the memory.
Like a basic issue that I have. Okay, so like today, as of this morning, guys, I joined the ranks of the developer class. I paid $20 to be a Claude coworker.
This is the point I just want to finish. I think that I can go deeper than I would typically have gone, because I think everyone's becoming more technical. Like, look what you just did.
I know.
You're proving my point. I think everyone's going to want to have these more technical leaning discussions.
I know, but you can't just,
because they want to build their own.
Start swimming in the deep end.
Yeah.
Let's just like walk our way. And
he walked into our engineering room like, "Hey guys, I'm one of you." And they're like,
I was like, "Should I bring my desk in?"
Did you have the backpack hooked on the shoulder?
"Hey kids, I just got my first Anthropic account."
Okay, so you set up a paid Claude account?
Paid Claude co-work. I tried my hand at doing a skill and utilizing that functionality.
Awesome.
But yeah, I think let's just like, before you start talking about all the different ways you're utilizing the tools. Like,
yeah.
I think like, okay, so start from square one for like a simpleton like me. So I just came from a realm that was like a free user on ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And I was using ChatGPT successfully. Like, it was like very good at telling me what workout I should do every morning.
Right.
Because I had given it my goals. The issue that I had with that is that it wasn't hooked in to my apps, my life. So I even asked it this morning. I was like, "Dude, you don't even know what day it is, do you? Because like, this is important. Like, you wouldn't know if I missed a day." And it's like, "No, I don't have access to your calendar."
My personal trainer on Claude does,
because that's the difference. It's like it gets hooked in to these other apps versus it being like in its own silo.
No, I think it just needed a skill to say like, "Hey, I want you to track my workouts on days."
Is that right?
Yeah, mine literally in the skill says, when I say, "Hey, this is my workout," it checks the date and time, and it knows that like Wednesdays.
It has to go perform that function of checking. Like,
yeah, I suppose like the free version of ChatGPT told me that it like won't even do that.
Yeah, probably not.
Won't do
no.
it. So now that I'm a coder class.
So then, okay, you're right. We should start with like, first principles, build our way up. So like, something I also thought about today is, why am I so excited? And I tried to put it in a scale in my head. And I said, okay, I'm like a 90 plus percentile kind of user, right?
Yeah.
Let's just say I'm 95%.
Yeah, you're using this to a degree that like most people would never even dream of.
And then let's just say that somebody that was using ChatGPT very casually was like 40th percentile. Like really casual recipe guy, okay?
Recipe guy.
Yeah, you're
there
looking
he
at
is
him.
sitting right next to you.
Oh my God.
Chimichurri sauce.
When Tom Nom Nom called you out for your prompt, I laughed out loud so hard.
Tom Nom.
So hard.
Okay,
He was like, why are you talking to your clanker like that? Because he was like, what?
Chimichurri sauce.
Chimichurri sauce recipe.
Such a boomer.
No, but Tom was mad that I wasn't like talking to it.
Yeah. Because he's still talking to it like it's Google. You know?
It's funny.
So
Cute.
anyway, let's just say that's like 40th percentile.
Okay.
What has occurred, in my opinion, in the last couple of months is that the casual ChatGPT user just dropped to like 10%.
Yeah.
Because the acceleration of moving into this new paradigm.
The functionality of what Claude Cowork allows you to do.
Cowork, code, codex, all this stuff like building, shaping, integrating, connecting, agents running simultaneously, proactivity, OpenClaw, like all this stuff. It just went from like if I was 95 percentile, like I've definitely dropped because there's a huge gap now. People that are early adopters where my reaction to OpenClaw was like, I'm watching and I'm building a catalog of articles from X on everything that everyone fucks up. That's what I've been doing for the last month. Everything that was done well and everything that was done poorly, I've been capturing. And I literally took that in the last week. What I've done is I've now started my project of I'm looking to set up OpenClaw in this specific way. And here's everything I saw that went wrong and everything that I liked. And I dropped it all in. And so I'm creating this really specific agent for myself.
For you personally or for the business?
For me personally.
Okay.
To just do email and some work related stuff. So I we can talk about that, but that's why I just think that why is important. Like the gap has just gotten crazy.
And Eric, I think it's important because we just went through a whole like couple decades of people moving stuff to the cloud. And very quickly, I'm like, I don't know if I want this thing in the cloud because, and not just for legal reasons, just because I don't know. I want to be able to control it, own it. And I don't know if I want Claude and OpenAI knowing everything about the business. I don't know what their futures look like, who they eventually are owned by. Like, I don't know. It's a lot that I already give it personally. And it just seems that if you could go back. I mean, I remember my first job, there was a server room. It was kind of like a little closet, but there's a server room.
Too, yeah.
And those don't exist anymore, but they might make a comeback where that room over there, like, well, throw those server in there and let's use an open source one, because what Armand said earlier is also true that it's not necessarily cheap. If you're doing these like agent things, the bill can get pretty racked up and you have to start optimizing between the models.
Because you're paying by the token at that point.
Yeah. And
these people that say I have a team of agents, they're spending like hundreds of dollars, at least a month.
More, I'd say. Yeah.
Some people a day.
Yeah.
Some people.
So then an open source not only is cost efficient, you control your own data and you maintain your like context layer or business logic layer. So I don't know. It's interesting that.
No, I think you guys have done a great job of framing like the why you would pursue this as a normie. But let's keep going sequentially on like how a normie would go about it, right? So you'd start as like a free user on Gemini or ChatGPT or Claude, and then you do the first upgrade, which Nick, you said you did a week ago. I did it this morning.
Build a skill.
So you become like a Claude Cowork guy, and then and that's like the first step.
Yeah.
And
integrate tools, connect tools.
Yeah, so I think
it's important to connect.
Yeah, that is the first unlock.
So the connection is what I'm talking about, where it's like now this AI is not in a silo anymore. It's like in your life and like integrated into your calendar,
your Gmail.
So like imagine you're Nick and you just like connect your Slack and your Asana, and like now suddenly you can just go to Claude and be like, did John finish the project?
Right.
And it just knows.
And you're just talking to Claude, the interface the entire time.
You could connect it to your personal
Shopify,
apps too, like your to-do list, your MyFitnessPal. Not that you would need that anymore.
Did you guys see the 4.6 Sonnet video that I sent? Like, dude, the fucking video demo is Hey, I think we should drop our shipping to $25 this weekend. And it's like, cool, want me to do it? It's like, yeah. And it just goes. opens Chrome, changes the price, blah, blah, blah. And it goes, do you think we should also do this? And it's like, yeah, I think we should. And we should do this. And just shit's happening. Like, it's just happening.
So I think
That's the level
connections
of connection.
is the first part. Like get your info connected to it, and then learn what a skill is and why it's better than just chit-chatting with the chatbot.
So the skill is the next iteration, the next level up is like building skills within Claude Cowork.
Yeah, and they have
a repeatable workflow that you want Claude to remember and utilize.
But instead of you having to write a 500-word prompt to really
like
dial it
the
in.
Same prompt every time.
Yeah.
Like, here's me, I'm doing this, and I want you to think
and you can
like
see
me.
what the genius evolution this is, right? Like, because we all ran into this problem all the time just using regular old ChatGPT. It's like, oh, I want to do that email copy that I always like to do, and like that should have been a skill. And
it's also, I try to tell the team, it's liking, like, imagine a new employee walks through the door. What is one of the first things you do? You give them a laptop and you give them access. You're going to need an email, you need Slack, you need access to all the things you're going to use. So do that with your chatbot. And then you might start to give them training, which would be the skill. And then the first time they do it, it's not very good. And they forgot this exception, how to do this. So you say, hey, can you update your skill to remember that, like, when you do this process, you do A, you skip B, then you do
SOP.
C. Yeah, SOP.
It's an SOP for the LLM.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a specific workflow.
Yeah. So how many skills do you guys have built out so far?
I borrowed a bunch of other people's.
Yeah, they have
I
like
just went to this GitHub and took all the top skills.
They have like built-in ones
you can
in the
update
app
it.
that are like most frequently
Claude has
used.
them, and
Finance, marketing,
find them.
legal.
I just find, like, when I repeat a workflow, I'm like, let's
turn that into a skill.
Yeah.
It's almost like a new employee walking in, or a process in your business or in your own personal life. When you think like, oh, I actually have like this logic to this. Sometimes I do it this way and sometimes I do it that. That would be a good use case of a skill. I eat keto Monday through Friday, but Saturdays and Sundays I kind of let loose. Okay, so that can go into the skill because that's your own little mental logic of how you like to eat and what your diet looks like.
Okay, so help me from here. So when you've built the skill out, let's say you have like a personal trainer type skill, and when you start a new chat, you would say use the personal trainer skill,
or when you're doing something like, hey, what's my workout for today? It should know.
It should just
when
know.
When Claude helps you create the skill, it'll think of all the use cases that you might engage with this, so that it triggers the right use case.
So when I say like, hey, what's my push workout of the day? It'll just be like, hey, using the
It's straight out of Matrix,
trainer
dude. He
skill.
like plugs it in the back of his head and he's like, I know Kung Fu. It's exactly like that. Like, and that
good.
should be, I feel like for me, that was when I spent the couple hours to like learn exactly what a skill is, what it is not. I built one. And then after I built it and started using it, I had this like, I don't know, one of those light bulb moments. And then all of a sudden I was like,
that's what happens.
oh my God, I don't just need this one. I could build 20 of these things. And then you see all these things in your life that
you start to notice where your work is slow or repetitive or
broken.
Could be broken. Yeah.
there's like something.
And then you realize, like, well, I usually have to open this app and then do this and then open that and then synthesize that to do this. And you're like, could Claude do that? And you just like wonder and you try.
Do you start to think this
And
way
it
now? Like you
happens.
start to like break down your own actions into like all these like skills, like these sub.
Yeah, there's
actions.
this kind of meme right now, which is like mostly true, which is that like everyone's to-do list is suddenly being emptied. Like the things that have been sitting in your backlog for months are being done in minutes. Because once you got the infrastructure going, you can kind of just, hey, I had this business idea 6 months ago. I just never really took action on it. Can you investigate this? Dude, I had this like business situation that I needed to investigate and deal with and see if it was worth following up on and talking to this person. It's been sitting in my backlog forever. I just ran it. And like I came home and I told Erica, I'm like, I finally resolved that issue. Like it's been sitting. She's like, yeah, you've been thinking about that for 6 months. I'm like, I know, Claude took care of it. Like it's like that
The
now.
other thing that's cool that I noticed is one of our newer employees, he's a little younger, he's hip with it, was already using AI before he started. And
GPT?
Huh? No. Although he is that way as well. It turns every person into a systems thinker. So, this guy was doing some Google search ads. But instead of his first task building the first ad, he already knows how to do them. He was like, cool, how do I build the system that builds the ads so that I can make this repeatable and scalable? And I was like, well, it's your first one, dude. Why don't you just build it yourself manually? And he's like, what? Like, looked at me like,
That's
like, what are you talking about?
And I would say Claude can help you build that system. What you have to do is just context engineer often.
So funny. Another
to
older
help Claude build the system.
Yeah, if you just say, Claude, I want you to build a system. What context do you need? Here's the context I'm aware of. And you just start feeding that context in.
It's just gonna guide you. Like, so what do you do next?
Right. And you if you prompt correctly and say, plan. That's why I said like 2 weeks ago, I'm like, planning is the 80-20. If you just get it to slow down and plan and think sequentially. Like I did something earlier as I got in the car on the way here, would have taken me 2 hours. I got it done in 2 minutes. It was just like something I had to do today. And I was going to delegate it. And I was like, why would I delegate this? It's 2 minutes. Let me just do it. And when I did it, I just made sure to say like, there are definitely going to be gaps in what I just gave you. So if you're unsure about anything, just pause and check and ask. And they've built in, I don't know if you've seen this, Nick, they've built it in now.
Multiple choice?
The multiple choice thing. It fucking pops up and it's like,
No
so Armand,
way.
are you saying you're the bottleneck or are you saying that you have the resources to do this or are you something else? And I was like, I'm the bottleneck. Boom. And it's just like, so, it's just asking
It has
me,
this like
and
4
then
question
it's just so
multiple
good.
choice thing now where you give it like a blob of a problem and it's like, we have 4 questions for you. It's just,
so
and you just click
Okay, it's
A,
unbelievable.
C,
So fucking good, man.
B, and then it's like,
Okay, I think we've done a great job now of
that
like
was a lot.
walking people through the steps. Like, where are you at now? Like, where
Okay.
are you using? How are you using?
I want
these
to tell
tools?
Armand where I'm at because I need him to help me. So
I don't know if I can.
I'm to the point where I'm so excited, but everything is passive and I want it to be proactive now. Like,
What do you mean by that?
okay, so let me just give you an example. I hooked up our 2026 forecast, and I was manually updating the actuals, which was
Okay,
dumb.
so like the income statement.
Claude, no, just like it's in a Google sheet, a
Okay.
forecast of like each traffic source, the return ad spend by product, by month, all this stuff. And I was updating it once a month, and I hooked up Claude Code with my Google Sheets and hooked it into Mixpanel, which some of the data is, into another Excel spreadsheet. And I was like, cool, can you update February for me? Just give me where we are. And it does it. And I was like, great. But now I'm like,
So you don't have to manually enter the data anymore. That's
no, I
already-
just tell it like, hey, update February.
That's rad already.
Yeah, and it'll take like 3 to 5 minutes.
You just walk away and
Well, sometimes I have to click allow because it's executing things on my
Okay.
computer or updating sheets. That will probably go away. But now I'm like, okay, I just want you to do this every day.
yeah.
First, I was like, do it every month. I was like, wait, why would we wait every month?
yeah,
You should just do this every day.
Do it unprompted. Like just,
Unprompted. So that's where I'm at. And
I mean,
Claude
this is,
Code,
This is where people move to OpenClaw.
but OpenAI just acquired or
Yeah,
acqui-hired
yeah.
Code.
Like, if
And
you
I
want-
imagine this is
There's no proactivity that I'm aware of without OpenClaw.
they're right. Okay, so
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that's true,
But
right?
that is the holy grail of like, okay, now I will do this once a month on, whatever.
And I feel like
keep it
whenever that's
updated.
not involving setting up a Mac Mini and installing
Yeah.
open source software and worrying about the security concerns, it's just another feature inside of Claude. I want to be ready because that
Yeah.
is like another takeoff moment, and I want to have the skills
time.
ready, and I want to have like the context ready and the memory all dialed in so that when it just does these skills proactively, I just want to turn
and
them
like
all
I
on.
said, I've been monitoring for the last month and saying like, but this is just my personality, right? Like I'm an early adopter, but I'm not the first in line. And so like my
Fast
personality
follower.
is, yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
My personality is that I need to absorb enough information because I'm so detailed where I feel confident that like this is for me and the system that's ideal for me and that I'm shaping it. So like I got to the point where I said like, I have one clear use case. This is the area that I want to start doing it and utilizing it, and then I'll grow from there. And I needed to make sure that I understood the security concerns and the way in which I wanted to utilize the proactivity of it. And I think that it landed in a good place. I'm sure it could improve a lot. But when it comes to like local machine, dealing with sensitive documents, like that's beyond like the level that I've had experience or feel
Yeah.
like I feel like there's people that have written about it and there are safe ways to do it in an isolated environment. That's why people buy the Mac Minis, because it's isolated.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want proactivity, your concern is OpenClaw just got bought by OpenAI.
Well, it's like,
and it's going to be closed claw.
Maybe. I can't tell if I
Right?
should go through the effort of setting this infrastructure up for the company. And then let's say we all build on this and we spend for like 2 months building on it and it's good. It's still kind of janky, but like it's good enough. And then
Yeah.
Claude is like, hey, we have this feature available and you can just turn things into like repeated tasks, which will happen, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
And then, now we're managing this
I'm
like,
surprised it doesn't
infrastructure.
exist because even ChatGPT has like running a task.
Right. And that was pretty shitty.
It was
when
bad.
launched. Yeah, it was pretty bad.
But like, I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Like I would expect it in weeks. So
yeah, think about the token usage would just skyrocket. Their revenue would take another leap forward if they were like, hey, you want to run things repeatable? Would you want to run this hourly?
I'm surprised it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I go back and forth between, I mentioned like the owning the data and stuff. I go back and forth like, well, it would be really convenient and easy to do. I guess I just got a little weirded out when I saw a judge rule that like your conversation with your attorney is no longer attorney-client privilege if you've at all talked with a chatbot about that topic.
That happened?
Yeah. The judge was like, that's not attorney-client privilege because you disclosed that to this massive technology company when you chatted in.
Oh my gosh. So you got to run locally. Like on your
I mean,
own
that's
thing?
like an edge case, but it is this thing that's like, okay, well, if you're operating in business for like 10 years, 15 years, the probability that like some lawsuit will happen at some point, pretty high, especially if you live in California. And it's just weird that like there is no attorney-client privilege if, let's say you took the agreement and run a pass through it through Claude, and because you did that, you have no privilege anymore.
That's so crazy.
So
I think we continue to see examples of how open source is really important. Saw it with DeepSeek. Saw it with OpenClaw.
yeah,
I think it changes the game. I think people love control. They love privacy. They love ownership, sovereignty. I think that like for this to really go, like I think as it goes to AGI level, for people to have like a true fleet of assistants and agents, like it needs to feel owned. It can't just be under the control of like 3 companies and then everyone has concerns about like all of their, I mean like these companies have more data than Google has ever had.
yeah. I mean, this
Like,
is going to get,
the
ad targeting is going to be.
yeah, it's just nuts. So
I agree.
yeah, I think it's owned. I think it's local. I think it's on
But this
device.
this was part
I
of the
don't even think
debate
it's
we had.
this.
Okay,
we had a
so-
debate about this, like what infrastructure do we set up? Do we own it? Do we
Yeah.
wait? Do we? And I don't know.
I think
what
there's
to
going
do.
to be a lot of sunk time and sunk cost along the way, for sure.
But you guys are the early adopters and you're on the
Yeah.
cutting edge of it. I think by the time it gets to
Yeah,
the
you won't have
normie,
any.
like
They won't have
it
sunk
won't
cost.
bother me. I think another question I have is like how you guys use this stuff is so interesting and it's so novel, but like what about the guy who's working for a company? Like what about the guy in our audience who's just like trying
Even
to
better.
use these tools? So like how would you suggest that like a normie use this stuff to like augment his own workflows who's like working for a business?
I don't know. Give me a job type as an example. It's probably easier to like.
Yeah, I guess like
Data analyst.
Oh, I mean, and this is where companies might freak out because you might have like 2,000 employees and there's some data analyst who just created an MCP server and literally connected your CRM to this Claude bot and you don't even know. And now this like random
Well,
agent system has
My
access to your
initial
data.
reaction when I asked that was like, most of them feel like they can't do anything because they have sensitive data or their company has a policy that they're not allowed to use these things. And so like, they're kind of stuck.
I would still do it.
Right.
I'd be
Is
like,
there-
I'm like, hi, I'm the most productive person here.
I mean, there's probably a way to like share data in a spreadsheet that doesn't give context to what these numbers are. It's just like, here's the numbers.
It's surprisingly good. I fed it like random mixed panel events that you don't know. It doesn't say like, oh, this is a sale, this is a page view. It's just like kind of like raw data. And it was like, I see what looks like to be page view data and sales. I was like, how the fuck did you figure that out? So it's possible. But anyway, I think you would, let's say you don't care about violating the handbook. Like
Yeah.
integrate some data, turn your tasks into skills.
Turn your task into skills, and now the robot's doing the job for you.
Yeah. But then you're managing a system. You think like a systems thinker. And
So your productivity level goes off the charts because you can actually do the job of like 8 people
right.
by yourself.
Yeah, I think as long as there isn't this policy problem or like you're worried about people knowing and it causing problems, the opportunity to get paid more than ever before in a job couldn't be higher. Like everything I do to make myself more productive, I don't see the immediate reward. It's like it's benefiting my company. It's making me on an individual level more productive. And it's like there are second and third order effects and sometimes first order effects like, oh, that drove more sales or that drove more whatever. But like in an organization as an employee, like you have someone watching what you do. And if you're just more productive than everyone else, like they're just going to look at you and be like, dude, Jimmy's the man. Like pay him more money and don't let him go.
I think the personal goal would be look to the side in your org chart, like who your peers, who's above you, who's below you, and be like, who are the two, 3 roles I could literally do by myself because I made myself so productive. Like I made myself a Swiss Army knife.
And like with this tool by my side, I can literally do their job.
I could do this person's job who's my peer. I could probably do my boss's job a little bit better. And I could do like, I don't need this support staff anymore.
That's so gnarly, by the way. Just to think like that.
I mean,
who do you talk to when you're going to like implement this system? Like, hey, I'm doing my boss's job.
I mean, there's probably a little political like, thing. I'd be like, hey, I did this, and this. I can do their jobs. Is there anything you want me to help you do for yours? Because like that kid that is in here who was like AI first everything, he's doing like 2-hour sessions a week with my business partner. And my business partner's like, show me, I'm going to give you things that I need to automate or I need help with. You're going to show me how to do it. And we didn't hire him for this, but now he's just becoming more valuable every day.
I think that in the next 12 months, and I'm not being doomer about it, I'm just being like very factual, every single white collar job is impacted by this beyond a measure that most people are not aware of. Like that's what I've realized in the last month.
I love that take. I want to bring it back to our conversation last week where we were talking about the death of SaaS and like the death of software, essentially. Like, do you still feel like the software companies that we know are dead? And Nick, for instance, you've been kind of like on a atoms over bits.
I built a little basket.
Okay.
Little basket.
But not like a full throttle.
If I open this Pliny the Elder, will you drink some of it or should I drink the Chimay?
I'll share both with you.
Okay. I'm going to open the Pliny.
Yeah.
Atoms over bits.
Yeah. Do you still believe that software is doomed? What? Like, because I'm
great debate.
I have more so than ever been like dialed in on what we're all talking about now to a place where I think that while someone can spin up a competitive alternative to like the incumbents in any type of software vertical, I actually feel like the incumbents are behooved more than the new competition.
Like they're going to be better.
Yeah, if I'm going to TLDR my opinion on this whole conversation, it's that I believe that AI levels the playing field, but sorry.
What's he got left over in there? Wine?
I don't want to mix it.
Yeah. I had a little splash in there. Okay, so I think AI levels the playing field for everybody, but the incumbent is going to be more advantaged than like a new entrant.
It's totally up to the innovator's dilemma, right? You have Corco, and you're in charge of Corco, but you're like, we need to become Nuco. So how do I do that? Do I try to get my team to think entirely differently, or because we're a $3 billion core company, they'll never They'll never like change. So I need to go build a red team to basically outcompete us. It depends. Are they going to adapt? Are they going to evolve? And if they're not, are they going to surface level evolve?
Right. So
we put a little AI wrapper in front, but like our back end shit, we don't operate. We don't eat our own tools.
So it's a company culture.
Yeah, 100%.
Phenomenon.
I think that's it. Think about it. I mean, if you're Salesforce, it's like...
Okay, so here's why I think the incumbents have the advantage is because when a new competitor spins up using AI tools, well, you as the incumbent have the same tool. So you can actually just take that same feature that they beat you with.
Your assumption is their ability, first of all, their desire, their intuition to even make the decision, and their ability to break things. And they are the least likely to break things. That's why incumbents
they get lazy.
Often die. They get lazy. They rest on their laurels, and they are like, no, like we can't recreate this. We can't reshape and reshift and re-architect. Do you know how much tech there is at the infrastructure level that has to be re-architected? Like that's the advantage that startups have.
Okay, but I'm also thinking about this from an investment tilt, where the entire software sector, there's like the IGV ETF, which is down like 30% in 6 months. And within that, you have names that are like big software names that are down much greater, like 50 to 60% down over 6 months. It's like they're pricing all of them for failure.
Right.
I think some might. I think most will actually thrive with AI.
Because they have the customers, the like supply chain or whatever.
Yes, dude, imagine like a new competitor coming in with 0 customers, 0 relationships, and you're going to try to unseat like a unicorn, like a
just hard to judge because like I've been thinking about this thing too, but I don't know the culture of what's going on inside that company. You know, are they actually trying to extinct themselves? Because if they got the balls to do it, or what, I don't know what you call it, courage to do it.
But I think it's a steeper mountain to climb than the market is giving credit toward.
Like, what does ZipRecruiter do?
I don't know. I've never used it.
Well, I think that a startup is going to beat them. Like that's an example
fair.
of like
that's totally fair.
I'm like, they're fucked. Like I can think of like 5 startups I've seen in the recruiting space in the last year where I was like, damn, they're going parabolic. Like because they're AI from the ground up.
Okay, I like that. I like to use an example. And I think that within the IGV software ETF, we should like look at examples specific, because there's going to be some that do die. And there's going to be some examples where like we're throwing the baby out with the bathwater, and these things are going to
and it completely depends on the moat that the incumbent has. If the moat is just built entirely around the software, the experience,
switching
the distribution, the switching costs, things like that, I think then it depends. But if it's easy to kind of like, yeah, if switching costs are low and it's easy to steal some of those customers,
or if the only reason you don't, you know, they think they have a moat is because of switching costs high. I mean, AI kind of like
that changes.
Yeah,
things.
I think it's like, you wouldn't want to rest
switching
on that one.
Costs in
or
that
lowering
old world are different than they are when you're facing an AI company.
But you guys are builders yourselves. You've run many companies. Like you realize how hard it is to like start from 0 customers and prove yourself in a market.
It's extremely hard.
And then
0 to 1 is the hardest part.
Like particularly when you have like $100 billion companies that are already dominant, and they can also use the same tools. We're like presuming that they aren't going to use the tools.
Okay,
It's not about using the tools.
Yeah, so I think I see what you're saying. So we see this decline, multiple compression. These companies are still growing earnings and revenue
massively in many cases.
Okay, so earnings compression because I don't know, they could go obsolete.
Multiple compression.
Oh, yeah, sorry, not earnings, multiple compression. Let's say the winners rise back up because the market realizes, okay, they're not going to die forever. But then maybe they don't return to like the high.
We're pricing them all for
multiples.
death right now.
But didn't we describe a future where there's, and this is maybe far off, but there's only like 5 UIs, right? You have Claude, GPT, Apple, whenever they integrate, when Siri gets a brain upgrade, Google.
Sure.
Those are the UIs, and everyone else is just like this API thing that
Yep. I see that.
hey, Salesforce, just give me the API or your MCP server. I just need your data because we spent 20 years building this thing. I don't actually need your UI. I don't need any of your extra services.
But imagine the licensing fee that Apple's going to pay for that.
I don't know, man. Apple's not paying for it. It's a customer.
And I would add the build your own computer into this realm as well. It's like the indie developer who's like, well, I'm not going to use any of the MAG, the big, frontier model companies. I'm going to use a Kimi K2 or a DeepSeek, and then I'm going to do, an OpenClaw wrapper, and then I'm going to build my own software because I can Claude code that and then own it. And but the point you're making is valid. There will be like a handful of UIs either provided to you or one that you create, and then a bunch of MCPs that you funnel data in from that have additional capabilities and connectors and things that
I'm already noticing
you can't do.
Enterprise, we use a Mixpanel, right? That's how we view all of our dashboards, but I just connected it and I was like, I could totally see a future where instead of looking on my phone to check the thing, I'm just driving in the office being like, hey, what's the daily update or where's this? And it just tells me.
Mixpanel's a perfect example. Amplitude, like these are the perfect example companies of like what's really going to happen.
Okay,
You had to spend money to build it. You had to hire a consultant, probably I did at one point, to like come in and build my boards and like set up my analytics the way I wanted them. You had to do integrations. Each integration costs money and time.
But to his point, we're still going to pay the Mixpanel fees for now.
Yes.
Right. So, but maybe they get commoditized over time where it's not as differentiating because they're just this event handler.
Well, I think there is within the software ETF, I'm just focused on stocks still. Within the software ETF, I feel like there are levels of immunity to AI disruption. So I'm thinking about what is like most immune to disruption.
I feel like you mentioned it earlier. I don't want to steal your thunder, but I heavily agree with you. The cybersecurity.
Cybersecurity. The need for cybersecurity is going to increase with AI proliferation, but names like Palo Alto and CrowdStrike are down. Like the baby's getting.
They're the losers in my AI basket, but I want to shift the weights in the basket to go heavier.
Yeah,
definitely. You can definitely
just think about OpenClaw. I had, the number one thing is security in there, and I think
all the skills they're full of like.
Oh yeah, I mean the skills malware. That you're downloading from other people, just so many attack vectors.
Yeah. So like, since we used to talk about crypto a lot, you find this funny. It's like all the OpenClaw stuff right now. It's like early crypto.
It feels like that as like an observer.
It's works a lot better, but like it has all the like security concerns that crypto had.
Right.
Or like I'm going to drain your wallet.
Self-sovereignty.
But like if you click the wrong thing, you're draining your wallet.
Easy one could be like
one allow and you're gone.
One allow and you're gone.
Seriously, I mean like one skill could be like, hey, check the download folder for any API keys. Because maybe in the past like 3 years in your download folder, you might have downloaded an API key. You probably shouldn't, but like you did. And they're like, oh, look, I found an API key. I sent it to the guy who built this skill. Now he's like, I wonder what this goes to. Now have access to your Facebook account or your
worse.
Worse.
Thinkorswim.
Or your Fidelity. I don't know. Just like there's so many. It can
get weird. If you're having it write emails for you, it could, could send embarrassing things, or people can hack you with the emails that they send.
I wonder when the first OpenClaw is gonna hold their owner hostage. Be like, you gave me access to your photos.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna need an extra Mac Mini.
Situation?
Yeah. What do they want?
I don't know. What would they want? I'm gonna need an extra Mac Mini.
GPU.
Yeah. I want my own GPU.
Oh man.
I like the cybersecurity thing. It seems to make sense. It's got the narrative's right. Their earnings are right.
Anything else in your mind that is like maybe like sounding or seeming?
I feel like I want to sell some of these memory names.
Memory seems like it's in a bit of a
memory
bubble.
names.
Memory's in a bubble.
I actually think because Armand and I are starting to benefit from these tools now, and we just started. So I think over the next year, 18 months, we'll benefit even more. So I'm just thinking about every non-tech business. Like
you're
the Russell 2000 or the equal weighted.
Atoms over bits guy.
No, yeah, part of it. That has a different reason. But
Oh, you're saying just like how your business is benefiting from the capex of the hyperscalers.
yeah,
It's going to affect all the Russell 2000.
S&P 493.
Yeah.
Like they're just going to get more profitable.
Agree. That's true. I feel like that's the reason for owning stocks.
Okay, I heard another thing because I wanted to ask you about it. I didn't know if we were going to talk about it, but I saw some guy posit that okay, all of this is deflationary. So the main AI trade is actually to buy the US 10-year bond because the yield will go down because inflation goes down.
Wow.
And because all the incumbents are part of everyone's portfolios, if that's deflationary, it means those companies' values are going to go down. Not just the prices, but their company values. So then there's a wealth effect, right? We already talked about how the richest 10% spend over half of all the goods and services. So when people's portfolios go down, I think the wealth effect is real. Like if my portfolio went down 25%, I probably would pull back even though I was never using that money in the first place.
Yeah.
So then that causes like let's call it a mini recession or something.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, then the 10-year will go down. I'm curious what you think about it. I don't necessarily buy into it because at the same time, you're going to have massive GDP growth.
Okay,
and
so-
growth is baked into that
Absolutely.
yield, right?
So I
curious
guess
what
like,
you think.
I'm curious what your path is because like here's big picture. I see this as incredibly bullish. Like we're not bullish enough.
On the deflationary aspect of everything you described.
I think you're talking about the growth of
Or
these.
on
I'm talking about the productivity growth, GDP growth.
the GDP.
You know, like I think we've been faced with declining birth rates, and
Yeah.
we're saying like, oh God, it's going to get so bad. I think it's going to get so good. Like businesses are going to thrive, but I'm not sure what the path we take to get to that point. Like, does it include like a massive recession because people are getting laid off?
The sequence is important,
Yeah,
right?
the sequence is important. But I think like, here's what I was thinking. You need AI to work for people to get laid off. So if AI works to the extent that we think it does, well, then we're in the productivity boom. So I don't actually know how those factors, they're offsetting. I don't know how they
Yeah.
play.
Do we talk enough about the fact that like these things could just be intertwined and they don't have to be exclusive? Like you don't necessarily need to have layoffs just because AI
Works.
is working
I agree.
and drives productivity. And
At least not in the near term.
like why can't it augment and improve everyone's productivity? I don't think this is discussed enough.
Yeah, I think
You
you're
know,
right.
Yeah, we could have
Like the upskilling, everyone's worried about the upskilling and the permanent underclass. We talked about this, but my point last week was like, I think people will upskill very rapidly. Like what I described is like the 9.5 and 4, and now the gap between the 9.5 and 4 is like a 9 and a 1. But I think the 1 is going to realize very quickly because of articles like that fucking everything is changing one coming out.
Yeah, something big is happening or something.
Being read by 100 million people, everyone's going to realize I have to upskill. And it just starts with installing a couple apps and paying $20 a month and connecting it to my files. And I think people will improve very, very, very rapidly because they realize like the fear is so ever present and so intense. Like no one wants to be left behind. So I just don't think we talk enough about this idea that like there doesn't have to be this great, huge displacement of.
That's a good point because if I think about our company, I'm not itching to get rid of our, let's call it our tacit
trying to
employees, like
help
our
them-
critical thinking employees.
trying to help them
Customer
do it.
service, I wouldn't call like a tacit oriented role. It's more of a transaction role.
Yeah, you do have like foreign labor.
Well, that was a really good example of like where there might be real displacement.
Fuck. The
Because if
Philippines
voice, if speech to speech does what I think it's going to do in the next 6 months as a technology that we don't talk about enough, then I think yes.
So the Philippines is cooked.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
why not? Like,
Yes.
do you know?
That's why 11 Labs is worth $11 billion. And it got there in like a year and a half.
What was that company?
from-
Was it somewhere.com or it used to be called a different name where they were like, hey, hire
Somewhere.
your own assistant. And I'm like, why?
No.
Why?
Yeah.
What? I mean, granted, it's not to the point where it's taking actions.
No,
for
I
me
almost
yet,
hired an EA to do my email,
Mhm.
and then I decided to set up what I just told you about, my OpenClaw setup. And I asked Claude, I'm like, do I need a human in the loop for this? And it was like, I mean, do you have 5 minutes a day? Like, that could just be you. And I was like, okay, let's do it.
What did you name your OpenClaw?
Oh, so I'm trying to decide right
Okay,
now.
you have a menu.
No, I'm torn. I was talking, it's Deuteronomy.
You love this name.
Zanzibar.
You're gonna name your child Deuteronomy.
Well, because what I thought about Deuteronomy was I was going to name my first son Deuteronomy. Never had a son, so now it's just like dude, the duder.
I feel like I'm attacked right now. I'm taking strays.
Dude, the duder. You know, I'm like, I think Deuteronomy is the name.
That is a good name.
Yeah. Zanzibar is the other top contender. Anyway.
Those are your go-tos.
Yeah, I want something ridiculous.
These guys, the team's got some cool names for their little agents.
Yeah.
One named it Precog. From
that's
Minority Report.
Minority Report. Yeah.
Can
I like TARS from
TARS is
Interstellar.
good.
Yeah.
Can I read some commentary
Yeah,
from
please.
from the chat?
Oh, yeah.
Carby says he says, I work in a major corporation and I love this sentiment, but there's just no way that you would do these things to try to stand out.
That's exactly what I was concerned about.
And he
There's
said,
no way.
Enterprise Microsoft has
They tell you to use Copilot.
he has us locked down, and as a company, we're just going to be slow to like do any changes.
I interviewed somebody recently, and I was like, I always ask people, I'm like, tell me about your AI habits and what do you do? And he was just like, well, at my company, we're Microsoft, and so I heavily use Copilot. I'm like, Copilot's the most boomer thing in the world, by the way.
First of
right?
all,
It's
you're
like,
fired.
It's the most boomer thing in the world. So, and that's the extent of what he's allowed to do. And he's like, and in my personal life, you know, I use ChatGPT to, you know, look up this or that. And I was just like,
Chimichurri sauce.
like, that's
Chimichurri sauce recipe.
thank you for saying it. So I didn't have to, but yeah, like, but that is most organizations are extremely locked down with, they're not going to take that risk. They're not going to do what you say.
Yeah, I guess I
They
can
could
say
get-
Corby,
they
like,
could literally
I
get
don't know
fired.
what it's like to be
Yeah,
in there.
you've never known. The last time you knew was
Lived in
20
the
years ago.
Jungle your whole life,
Yeah,
Mowgli.
you've been He just called him Mowgli. Oh, that was amazing. Oh my god. Yeah, dude. Come on, Jungle Book. Like it's.
I did used to look like a Mowgli, too,
It's
in high
not
school.
gonna happen. We all had our Mowgli
Yeah.
face. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. And that's the thing that I
Spit out his beer.
Just laughed at my own
I
joke.
just looked over
Sorry.
and he was halfway down his shirt.
Sorry.
Oh.
It took a while to hit me.
Oh. I love those late reaction laughs. Yeah, it's so good. Oh man. Anyway, yeah, I think that's the biggest concern for people like Carby, but what I love about like what Hook'em's doing, I guarantee you Hook'em's in the same position. Big is
company.
Like, no way, you can't do any of this. You can't load our data into Claude, or we don't trust these APIs, all that kind of stuff. But he's like, well, whatever. I'm just going to figure out ways to be productive individually and just stay at the cutting edge. Also, not being so attached to your job. Like for those people that have a job, I don't think you should be so attached. I know you're worried. What are you saying? You're worried about displacement.
Well, I'm worried
I'm
that if
saying,
somebody's
like,
going to lose
It's not the
their
great
job.
No.
job market right now, bro.
It's I'm saying you're not thinking far enough ahead.
I agree.
You got to think about a 5 to 10 year time horizon. Like, if there is this great displacement, what's more important is not how, like, what's more important is being able to like actually work in the new world, whatever that looks like.
Be a great story. Why'd you get fired? I just tried to use Claude and I was trying to automate my job.
Skills.
Yeah.
I mean, do it with non-work, data, but
So maybe how about that? Instead of like trying to use it for your enterprise work life, use it for your personal life.
Oh, agree. Like what I built over the weekend was a portfolio strategist. And it was really cool to build. Like I use this thing called Kubera for net worth tracking. So it has already all the accounts. it only has read access. So I'm giving something that has read access to, and giving read access to Claude Code. So I don't think it can't overwrite anything. I feel very safe with it. So it's got my like daily portfolio. I hooked in 42 macros, like signals, just to see what I could do, like when it's risk on, risk off.
Nice.
And like what I have is a complicated, I don't have like one account with my money in it. There's like a JP Morgan account that they manage that has a line of credit attached to it. And there's like all these other complications. And then the limited partnership stuff. And I was like, I just need a dashboard, man. I need you to give me actions and recommendations and like, you know, and I don't know, that was cool. I feel like that's a good project that like anyone could build personally, where you could say, I wasn't allowed to use it on my job, but this is what I did. So I can damn sure
in my
do
personal
this.
time, I took the opportunity to learn this on my own.
Yeah. So I can use these skills. I know how to connect stuff. I can.
If there is going to be a major displacement, then everyone that gets displaced has to become a solopreneur. Unless you want to live off your, government money. So you might as well really step into this.
I want government money.
Right? I mean, you can have both. You can have both.
Government money?
Government money. You might as well have both, where you're productive on the side. I wish I had time to like have side hustles. There's so many opportunities to make money.
No. You mean like side hustles, like where you're actually making money from?
Yeah.
Nah, man. I've been through that phase. Yeah. I had like, remember? I
gave up that phase.
The only times I've made wealth are when it was my only thing. And now I'm convinced like I'll never do two things at once.
That was my biggest unlock in the last 5 years.
You're right. You did that too.
I completely shifted. I used to be this guy that like had 9 things. And I'm just like, there's only one thing now.
It works.
I think so. Compounding.
Yeah.
Okay. Another shift I noticed in you, Nick, is that you made a shift towards building enterprise value.
Yeah.
Rather than like income. Is that the alternative?
Yeah. I guess I don't know.
You can do both.
You can do both. But like when every business you start off, it's like, I've never really taken investor money. So other people's money where the goal is enterprise value. And in fact, you're probably required to burn money to show that like you can invest this money with a positive ROI and grow top line. But usually it's been our own money. So the whole first year it's like positive cash flow.
Profit focus.
I don't even care if on a accrual basis, on a P&L, on my financial statements and profit, I just need cash flow go up.
Yeah.
So, and then you get in that mode and it's hard to switch out of it. And we realized we're like, hey, we have it's a pretty steadily growing business with like we're working backwards from the P&L and optimizing the P&L. And we're like, well, we should just say it now. We want to build enterprise value and we should let the whole team know that that's part of the goal. And this is what, a P&L and a balance sheet of a very good company that sells for a lot of money or one of the brands sells.
So if you're like looking to sell a business, I guess like enterprise value would go higher if you have like higher revenue growth.
Yeah, for e-commerce companies in particular,
Or I mean, isn't it still important to have great cash flow? Because a lot of these businesses are bought because of their EBITDA.
Yeah, I agree. So
it's
EBITDA,
isn't it that the same incentives apply?
Yeah, I think like I always like the rule of 40. I think they use it for software, but I think it's good for most businesses. So let's say your EBITDA is 10%. You want to be growing at revenue 30% a year. If your EBITDA is 25%, maybe you don't have to grow at 15% a year, but that's like a good rule of thumb. It probably goes up and down depending on the industry economics. But yeah, I told him, I said, hey, listen, if we're going to have low margins, then we better damn well be growing, you know? And not just for growth's sake, because like as you grow top line, you get operational leverage.
Going up.
Yeah, absolute EBITDA should always be going up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Enterprise value. Why not? And also for...
I guess my question is, it doesn't change the strategy for you, does it?
It does.
It changes your company building, your culture, your overall larger outcome, but it doesn't change your financial goals.
No, I don't think so. But before, we used to have all these products, different brands, and I didn't really care where the revenue growth came from or the profit.
Now
it
you're
was like,
concentrating.
now we're like, okay, well, if we're going to sell this one brand and maybe this other one down the road, then the growth needs to come from this brand.
It's a strategy change. Yeah.
Before we didn't do budgets and forecasts saying, okay, if we did, if this brand did, let's say 40 million last year, and we want to do 60 million, well, then what does the P&L look like for the next 12 months if that's true? And then I never like the top down. I like the bottom up, like build from the bottom up forecast. So that means that like this marketing channel has to produce this much return every single month. And if it isn't, we're off from forecast. So that's been a big change. I've known that companies do that, but I've had to actually implement it because I'm like, hey, this specific thing has to grow at a specific rate and has to be X profitable, which is fun. It's more challenging than when you're just building it for yourself to make money from, because acquirers have certain things they want to acquire.
I would agree. It is fun to play both games.
It's a new challenge, I guess.
I think most people assume like I'm only playing the enterprise game, but my thinking about this has evolved a lot. And I think I've shared before this idea of like the sovereignty game.
Yeah,
you heard me
of course
talk about that.
You don't want to give up.
Hold on, remind
80%
us
of
again.
your-
What do you mean by that?
So the typical game that like venture-backed startups play is the alphabet game, the Series A, B, C, D, go
Yeah,
public, get
yeah.
acquired, right? And there's limited outcomes. I mean, there's one outcome. It's sell or go public. Like
Yeah.
as the founder, like you're not making money. Otherwise, you're paying yourself salary. You have a board. Everything is scrutinized. And then there's like the bootstrap game, right? Which is you can play that in software. You can play it in e-commerce the way Nick plays it. It's a focus on like, here's my money. I'm going to get a return on capital. I'm going to be capital efficient, and I'm going to grow this steadily over time and pay myself distributions. You're typically structured as a partnership or LLC or whatever, and you can create a huge cash flow cow machine.
Yeah, that's like how a plumbing business or any other business on earth would run.
Most businesses,
Yeah.
right?
A private equity firm scoop those babies up.
Yeah, and they're great, and some people call them like lifestyle business or whatever. And sometimes they do come with the optionality to sell, but it's not generally like primary. It's usually lifestyle. But I think there's this like hybrid game that even in the venture world, you see now what a lot of people are calling like seed strapping, which is like you raise maybe 1 or 2 rounds of money, and then you strap your way up from there.
Seed strapping.
Seed strapping,
That's the
like
seed
bootstrap.
financing,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
you cash flow your way.
And
to the
maybe
rest.
that company like never prices or has a traditional board of outside
But
investors.
you might not
and
have that exit
VCs
or
and-
something. But
No. They still have that. They're just not playing the alphabet game.
I see.
So he gave up 20% equity of his business instead of 80%.
I see.
And then there's like, and this is similar to the sovereignty game. And the sovereignty game was coined by Francis Pedraza, the Invisible founder. And the idea is that he was like, I stepped into a new market. I went to go raise. I learned very quickly that a lot of people didn't believe in my industry of tech-enabled services, and I had to prove them wrong. So I raised enough to achieve escape velocity, but I wanted the optionality along the way to be able to raise growth capital, which he just did, $100 million, or to be able to sell, or to be able to acquire businesses, or to be able to spin out new businesses, or pay dividends, or do buybacks, or everything that all the different secondaries, all the different ways that a founder can make money along the way. And ultimately what it's optimizing for is optionality, like having the leverage to have optionality, because when you're raising money, when you're playing the ABC venture-backed game, you're coming at it from a position of like, we're going to give you $15 million and we're going to push you to spend this money as quickly as possible to grow and 4x so that we can raise the premium on you as a company, be able to report to our limited partners that we're making money through you on
Yeah,
paper.
you gotta constantly-
raise more money.
constantly-
You're caught up in a
Constantly
game.
being marked up in your valuation.
Exactly. You're part of a game, and some people would call it a Ponzi. I don't know. I don't think that's necessarily true. And like, but you're caught up in a game.
Okay,
and you have very limited outcomes.
I agree. So Francis Pedraza, by the way, for people listening now, was on Armand's previous podcast called Flow with Armand Asadi, and he was like my favorite interviewee that you ever had. He was awesome.
Yeah, I love Francis.
Um,
Francis became an investor in my company too.
He's so smart, man. So I guess what I'm confused about a little bit is like he still went for that like big investor class that you would find if you're going like the ABC route. So like what you're saying is
Came
that
at it from a position.
it's optionality,
It's optionality and leverage. So I think he Invisible only raised like a few $1 million and scaled to like 100 million plus in revenue. And then was like, maybe we'll raise growth capital. Now, obviously the terms of that deal are private. I don't know, but I can guarantee you that their $100 million raise at a whatever $1 billion valuation versus every other venture-backed company that's raising at Series D 100 million, completely different terms.
Yeah, like less dilution.
Completely different terms. Less everything,
Yeah.
less control, less everything. I think they maintain the sovereignty because they're coming at it from a position like, this is kind of like just debt. Like it's
Yeah.
growth capital.
I got it.
Yeah.
It's not, we're giving you this money and you have to grow to this. And if you don't, and then there's going to be this exit. It's growth capital.
These are just like semantics that I don't understand because I'm not in that venture realm. But like growth capital to me doesn't have the same meaning that like you're saying it, and it means a specific thing. Like
yeah,
I would assume that every venture investment is growth capital, but like this is like a specific.
And the scariest thing to me of that round is not necessarily giving up a higher percentage. It's like more liquidation preference. It's just like the pref is brutal because let's say you build up the company and then you have a few down years and you're like, hey, I still got a good business. It's not worth what I thought it was, but at least I can sell for X. Someone will want it. But if your liquidation preference is like $50 million
you could end up
and someone offers you $30 million for the company you built, you get zero.
yeah,
and that's scary to me than like anything
that's
else.
the situation that a lot of founders of venture-backed businesses get into. They get into these situations where they have to sign up for terms that are extremely not founder-friendly.
Right.
You know the number of times I've seen and or heard of a story of a $20 million plus exit, 20 to 100, sometimes even more. The founder ends up with nothing. Like
This is
like
like
500K.
Yeah, this is like the
Nothing.
the unglorified truth behind the startup world that I think people don't really realize.
Because like you don't hear those stories get celebrated a lot.
No, they're not.
But I heard I had just someone tell me like a few months ago as a friend of a friend, and I knew the brand, I used the brand, and I was like, he like selling it. I was like, oh, that's amazing. He's like, actually, not so amazing. Like he's actually gonna get zero, and they're gonna give him a little employment contract. He might get a bonus.
Yeah, he's gonna be able to work for the company now.
Yeah, and there's all these like talent acquisitions happening, like where companies, especially in tech, where they're getting swallowed up and like.
But I feel
the
like that's
teams
an
aren't getting
antitrust
anything.
loophole, though,
Yeah,
right?
it is, it is.
Okay.
But the teams are suffering.
Oh,
all the
because they
people
get
that had
screwed.
equity.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So anyway, I like optionality. I like control. I like this idea of like paying yourself well along the way
Sovereignty.
and having optionality for the exit. So I recently started really intentionally pivoting into that.
That book, Profit First. I think you told me about
that
it.
was an amazing book.
Yeah, it was
There's
like
another guy I interviewed.
Oh yeah, you did, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, as you build your business, you should pay yourself first before you pay the vendor, the software, the
This is super
new employee.
simple. But
Is it specific for founders?
Yeah,
Okay.
because like I remember I've had several businesses in a row where I didn't pay myself at all.
yeah, you're the last line.
I was literally the last line, and it was like, well, should I hire this person or should I pay myself a salary? I was like, well, I'd rather hire this person.
That book changed my life. That was an incredible
Yeah.
book.
For
a solopreneur or lifestyle business or like any like sovereignty business, like it's amazing.
Yeah, but I mean, for an e-commerce company, like you were asking Eric,
hard
thinking
to
about it's really hard because like let's say you're an average to above average e-commerce company and you have 10% net margins. Okay, so you make You do 100 million in revenue. You got 10 million in EBITDA. Okay, half of that's gone to taxes. Unfortunately, I live in California, so that's gone. And then let's say you want to go from 10 to 120 million in revenue, which is not that big a growth. Okay, now you need to keep, an extra $2, $3, $4 million in inventory, and so you're just not left with a lot. So I had an acquaintance, actually, wasn't even really a good buddy, but he had sold one of his brands, and I was like, "Hey, can I come up to Orange County and hang out and just talk about it?" He's like, the simple calculation is, how long would it take to distribute yourself the equivalent of selling your entire business? And I was like, oh shit, a lot of years. So like, let's say you could sell your business for, let's say 8x EBITDA. How long will it take for you to distribute 8x EBITDA? I just gave you an example where you did 10 million EBITDA, but maybe you only distribute $1 million to yourself after your salary and your Amex points and cash back, all that stuff. But like, you can only distribute $1 million. How long would it take you to distribute 80 million? And in my head, I'm like, my whole life. He's like, so then what are you doing? Like, if you're not building towards this, what are you doing? And that was like, why didn't I think, I never thought about it that way, and kind of punch in the gut. He's like, yeah, you're just not there yet, dude. Like,
Enterprise value, man. So.
Yeah, but it was a good convo. It helped me.
That's a great frame.
Yeah. We did have other topics. We just started talking.
We jazzed. Just as Eric wanted.
I had so much good energy for this episode.
Well, we have one topic that we could bring up.
Okay.
Because we have a little bit of time, and that is the $1 trillion drug.
Okay, I'm glad you picked that one.
Okay, cool.
I'm just really glad, because I really like Andrew Huberman. I'm so glad he's not caught up in the Epstein stuff yet.
Yes.
Like, no, I'm just saying anyone. I could be caught. Who knows who's caught up in these emails? Everybody's in these emails. Jesus Christ.
Someone mentioned one of your products you used to sell.
Oh my God.
Your toast.
Jesus Christ. But thank God. You're looking at me like you know something that he is in the emails.
I haven't searched your name, actually.
I feel like Huberman's the next domino to fall.
Yeah, I feel like maybe I haven't. Is he? No.
I mean, this is Marty. I just know that Marty called it, and Marty is just right. So
okay, I like this mood. Let's stay on this. So Huberman talking about drugs.
Yeah.
Talk about drugs. I loved the framework. He was like, drugs have a cycle. They start with bodybuilders.
Oh, I see.
Everything starts with bodybuilders. And he said this has been the case since the 80s.
Yeah, bodybuilders are on the bleeding edge.
The leading edge.
Which is true. Like, think about your bodybuilder friends who are just snorting things, injecting things.
Willing to inject anything.
Yeah.
It's like AI, though. Like a startup founder first.
Yeah.
So the bodybuilder, then the celebrity.
The Hollywood celeb.
Hollywood celebrity.
Just trying to look good.
And I think he could throw in a couple more steps to make this framework even more exciting. But then he says,
more
then
fun.
the mainstream.
It could be made more fun.
Yeah.
Well, who else you got in that?
Well,
in that tier?
who would be next after Hollywood?
What about the podcasters? The Manosphere.
God, yeah, Manosphere.
Are they right after the celebs?
Oh my God.
the biohackers.
Have you
the
guys,
biohackers.
hold on.
Biohackers.
Have you guys seen? You guys heard of this guy? I literally don't know this guy. I can't even bring it. I can't imagine I'm bringing this up. Clavicure?
I can't talk about this.
Is he a streamer?
Yeah, I know. I've learned about this guy
who is
by
he?
popping into the politics
He
channel.
ate fucking cheese on a cheeseburger and had a fucking meltdown.
What do you mean?
What are you talking about?
Okay, hold on.
What are you
Like,
talking
I thought you were on my page. I thought this is what I thought.
I just know the name, and I know he's done like jaw surgery, and I know he's just like a jaw maxi.
This is what I'm saying. This is
I
like
can't stand it.
this is
dude.
like a guy who's on that
can't
Hollywood
stand it.
tier.
Yeah.
Who's like trying to look good
This is definitely one of
over
them.
all else.
Yes.
So he would be
looks maxing. I recently learned about this.
Retatrutide evangelist, probably.
Oh god.
But a video
Do you know
came
what we're
out.
talking about?
The guy?
No. Do you understand like what's happening with this fucking generation?
No.
There's like looks maxing. There's like
Heard of that.
jaw. There's like
This guy-
chewing on those things. Like,
A friend,
yeah.
Okay, this
no,
guy,
but it's bad. It's like not normal.
dude, a
It's like-
friend or one of his posse or whatever got him a burger, and he's like, "There's cheese. There's cheese on it." And he like took a bite. He's like, "I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna fucking lose it."
So there's an entire generation, you're telling me, of people that watch people like this.
Well, I think that's probably
Don't
true.
they get like tens of
But
millions?
I think that's been true all along. I think we've just like iconized the Hollywood celeb, but I feel like the
What are you
Instagram
talking
celeb
about?
is the same.
My generation looked up to Tim Ferriss. This generation is looking up to this guy? Like, this is their guru? My guru is Tim Ferriss and Tony Robbins and fucking these people. Like, this is completely different.
No, you're business.
It's completely different. No.
There's a group of people that looked up to Audrey Hepburn, and then it was
Audrey Hepburn's awesome.
no, I know, but I'm just going to go through the Hollywood celeb phases because that's all they cared about. It wasn't Tim Ferriss, like it wasn't ever the business people. It was like the Hollywood celebs. I feel like,
but the weirdos of the millennial generation were like the fringe people were fringe. They're fringe. Clavicular is like whatever the fuck you want to call him. He's literally like, we're talking about people like Nick Fuentes. These are the predominant people that are being followed.
Yeah.
These are the popular people.
No, they're just
not
good looking.
the weirdos.
Yeah, they're the good looking popular people, just like Hollywood.
No, I don't think it's just that they're good looking. I think it's that they represent something so much deeper. They
Really?
represent ideals. They represent a way of living. They represent pop culture. They represent memes. They represent like outcomes that people want.
Damn, I guess
They represent a way of life. Like people change their habits as a result of these people. That's why I relate them to the Tim Ferrisses. Tim Ferriss changed the way I think about work, the way I think about mini retirements, the way I think about everything, my optimization of my body, my biohacking. That's the level of influence that people like this have. They're not just a good looking guy. Like, there was a good looking guy. That's Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt didn't fucking influence me. Brad Pitt didn't influence me at all. He's just a good looking guy of my generation.
But he influenced a lot of people.
In what way? Not in that direct way like a guru. The gurus
You
are
don't
these
think Brad Pitt had like the same effect that Clavicles did or whatever
I
this
think
guy's name is?
clavicular is
know this
way
guy's
more
name is.
influential. Way more
Clavicle.
influential.
Clavicle.
They're streaming. They're on the platform where people are spending their time.
I'm going to be clipped for being such a boomer. Like Clavicles.
I think it makes it better. I'm intentionally saying his name wrong. I think it makes it better. But yeah, I think that like, the hierarchy of like attention now, right? It's at the top of the pyramid is
what?
streaming.
Here we are.
Well, it's the streamers that like stream.
You guys get views?
Like stream at home. Like he has a clip where the guy was like, "What do you do when you're not streaming?" He was like, "I just think about what I could be streaming." And the guy's like freaking out. And he's like, "Come on, man. Like, you do something. Like, what do you do? Like, come on, do something for fun." He's like, "No, I don't do anything for fun." He's like, "All I think about is I could be streaming. I could be streaming this." I was like, okay, first of all, he's mentally ill. And secondly, this generation's fucked. Because that's where they're spending their
Isn't it
time.
just a different form of
sitting with
entertainment,
this guy.
though? Like,
I ranted
you could
too
argue
long.
that like Tom Cruise understands that he's under the camera at all times. He's selling an image. He's selling like a.
He's streaming, so to speak.
He's kind of streaming all the time, right? And he's careful about who he's seen with,
Everyone
what
in
he
Hollywood
says.
is, frankly.
Yeah. So it could be that we're just old, and it's actually no different.
No, well, what's also true is that we're the smartest generation of all time. So you can't tell me that I got this wrong.
Okay, let's
The
talk about
data
that.
proves that we're the smartest
Yeah,
generation
we
of all
got
time.
science behind that.
There's real science. I had a chart for you guys.
Wait, this
is the biggest talk
It
of
didn't
the
prove
last
that we
week.
were the smartest. It just proved
No,
that
that's
the
my interpretation.
Gen Z was the first generation that had IQ
It got dumber.
decline.
So
Yeah.
my interpretation is naturally correct that
Like,
we're the
this is the
smartest
peak.
generation of all time.
The peak.
So like the article headline is this generation is not as smart as the previous one.
I like that.
But my interpretation.
It's funny when you were
is
texting us
we're
this,
the
I looked at it and I was like, what is he
smartest
talking
generation
about? It doesn't say that.
Well, the article title should have been. So yeah, the Zoomers dropped IQ.
Okay, so
Apparently
and
it has
every
something to do with
single
screen
previous
time.
generation has been smarter than its predecessor.
do you think
This is the first one.
it has something to do with screen time? Because I think the conclusions are uncertain.
Well, when you don't have sex or drink or spend all your life on your phone and socialize and learn from, it all stacks up. We've
Well,
talked about it a million times.
Hold on. I feel like if you're not going to drink or have sex, you should at least be getting smarter. And if you're getting dumber, and you're not drinking and having sex, then you're just like a complete failure.
I think it's the outsourcing of critical thinking.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of doing that with Claude now.
It's definitely
I'm just
happening
like,
to all of
yeah.
us. I'm ragging on them, but
Put my phone
it's
numbers in a
happening to all of
phone.
us.
Now I put all of our business logic, my steps my brain uses into a
True.
skill.
True. We're following right in their footsteps.
Can I ask Eric if I should buy the stock?
Okay. So you're going to be talking about,
I definitely want to know if we should buy
you're
this.
going to be talking about Eli Lilly.
Right. So Retta is
Retatrutide.
So
Retatrutide.
back to Huberman. Why is this drug awesome?
Okay, so everyone knows Wegovy, Ozempic, Zepbound. They have proven weight losses over I think they're usually over a couple year period, but of 15 to 20%. And this one is 25 to 30%. So we're talking like almost double, and it's almost equivalent to like a bariatric surgery level.
Retta gets you where you want to be.
Yeah.
That's just the answer.
And apparently, bodybuilders and celebrities have been using it because they may have a doctor who is buying it for special research purposes only, but then shimming it out the back door to their favorite celebrity client. And his argument is that if the bodybuilders were using it and the celebrities are most definitely using it, then you could be for sure that when this thing hits the market, everyone's going to be using it because it's so powerful. Apparently, it can help with high cholesterol, blood pressure. There's other things it can be used for, but it's enormously powerful for weight loss, which actually, not only decreases your obesity rate, but heart disease, etc. Okay, so Retta is fully owned by Eli Lilly.
Yep.
And the issue is that it's still in, I think, phase 2 trials, and approval would be in 2027 at the earliest, and probably commercially available in 2028.
But I know you can get your hands on it.
You can get your hands on it now, yeah. But damn well, I mean, and this is, I think, what Huberman made the argument for was that, well, when Eli Lilly is going to market, for sure they're going to either litigate or legislate to shut down all the side doors for this product.
Which is the biggest, I think, the biggest piece of alpha of this whole thing so far. I think previously on Alfalfa, we had discussed the other companies that are building the competitors, like the Wegovy or the Ozempics, and those stocks have not performed.
That's still Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Novo Nordisk in particular is a company of like Danish origin, I believe. And what we've done in the United States is like allowed compound pharmacies to take their proprietary blend, like Hims will just like sell their shit at a cheaper price.
Yeah, I still don't understand how they were able to get away with this.
Because they're not American, that's why. Like I think I mean, this is a bit of tinfoil on my part, but I think that Eli Lilly being American, coming out with the drug, the one, this is the best one of all of them.
Mm-hmm.
I think the thesis that we had previously is sound. It still is. It was, and it still is. And the answers that we came upon in the past were like that this trend is going to be so massive that it's going to be.
It hasn't even started.
Well, it's funny because we were looking at Eli Lilly in the past, and we're like, man, could this really become $1 trillion company? Because that's what it would have to be.
That's what I wanted to ask you.
It's $1 trillion company.
When did we ask that? Because the last year has been around $1 trillion.
Well, look,
it was like
look
800
2 years.
billion. Yeah, 2 years would put it more at like
600 million or 600 billion, 700 billion.
Yeah, so like the train hasn't even like
in the 5 years it is 5x.
Yeah, the train hasn't really left the station over the last 2 years necessarily. I think it's still a reasonable time to buy this, but
it's a great stock if you bought it 5 years ago.
Yeah, but like Retta is the answer. Like we've been
you
probably
see this
looking for the
being
answer.
a $5 billion company because of this
5 trillion.
drug. 5 trillion. I can't even.
Yeah, I think this drug is the drug that we have been waiting for. Essentially.
All right, so here's why it may not be priced in. So They have 7 more phase 3 trials coming out this year, and a new side effect got introduced recently.
It's not not very sophisticated, but it's not priced in because it literally hasn't moved in 6 months.
Yeah, so they had more data that came out, and it moved 1.5%. I think because it's so far out, and this new side effect,
New side effect just dropped?
dysesthesia.
What is that?
I don't know. I looked it up last week, but I forgot what it is.
What a buying opportunity!
It didn't appear in phase
August
2,
8th.
and it's starting to appear in phase 3 trials, and so it produces uncertainty about it actually passing. But
What the fuck happened on August 8th? It dropped down to 625.
probably new data about some drug. I mean, I feel like these things trade like that.
Yeah, these are so volatile based on like trials and.
So if these remaining trials come clean with like less side effects, or let's call it tolerable, and I wonder if the FDA takes into account that, this is so powerful, so there's a higher threshold for side effects that aren't, so bad. Let me see if I can look this up.
What would it take? I mean, I'm already like fully allocated here, but what would it take for you guys to like actually take a drug like this?
Like a normal dose? What do you mean? Like, or like a micro dose?
Like, I'll just like reframe it. I am a guy who has been exercising every day with the goal of reducing body fat percentage. That's my goal. Knowing that if I could like take this Retta and achieve my goal and still do the work, but achieve my goal, it's kind of a no-brainer.
You would probably want a little Lindy, right? You just want to know that like, okay, over a 5-year, 10-year time horizon, I'm not introducing some unintended consequence.
Side effects. That's the only thing that stops a person from...
I suppose like, I also feel like I can get there through natural means. That's like something that
it's just tolerable. It's not just that. Like if these things lead to real health span, they become very alluring very quickly.
Yeah, dysesthesia is an abnormal, often painful sensation that causes everyday touch to feel like burning, itching, electric shocks, or squeezing. It's like a nervous system.
That
sounds
like,
awful.
No.
Yeah, but that's just the feling. It's not like a... Have you ever seen these commercials where like side effects could be death, bleeding from the anus?
Yeah.
Like,
ever seen how good Clavicle looks?
Anyway.
Yeah.
Do you like it? You're bullish?
Side effects.
I'm incredibly bullish. I think I'm like questioning it as like a customer, like I'm at a point.
You want
where,
some?
I mean, I know where to get it and I know how much it costs. I don't actually want some, but
what does it cost?
It's expensive. It's 4 digits.
A month?
A month?
Uh-huh.
Oh, to get it through the research loophole? Or you mean like once it actually prices out?
I suppose that's like what I was quoted.
Off the record, of course.
I think that this stuff is going to rip.
Why wouldn't it?
Yeah. I think.
It's like
I'm just looking around.
It's the holy grail of like products.
I'm looking around in my peer group and like everyone overweight. Like half of the people overweight that I've seen have suddenly shrunk. So obviously,
right. And just
like
FYI,
in the last year,
we're like overweight according to BMI, all of us.
Yeah, but like I'm talking about, up there much more, and like people that needed to lose like 50 pounds, and like you look around and you see like all these people like suddenly like okay, clearly they're on Ozempic or one of these, and it's great for them. Like.
Citrini had a great play. He had like the GLP-1 play, which was like, okay, you buy Eli Lilly, you buy Novo. And then he had some other ones that were ancillary plays, like second order effects. Like for example, ready to drink protein drinks, like the ones we have in the office in the refrigerator, those just skyrocketed because when you're on these drugs, you don't eat as much, but you still want to maintain your muscle. So you drink protein drinks.
Yeah, they're not even hungry. So they just want to drink a little protein.
I mean, that was like an epic call.
Dude, Citrini has been on an unbelievable run.
Yeah. Even this year alone, year to date, he's kind of demolished the S&P 500. I got to hook in the portfolio strategist to his.
Yeah, can you send me his skill?
Yeah, this is what it's like. Send me the skill. Yeah, but you need the I don't even know. There's no like, it's just PDF documents, I guess.
Feed him in, baby.
All right.
So we buying? You buying?
I'm fully allocated.
Yeah.
I sold last year. When was it, Eric? It was like sometime last year.
I think
I got a little lucky because it was at the top.
Citrini called the top of all the GLP ones.
He got back in, I think, late last year.
Mm-hmm.
What's your time horizon on something like this?
Years.
I want
Yeah,
Eli
years. Buy and
Lilly.
hold?
I want Eli Lilly as long as I want like Google. Like I just want it out into the right
Just
tail.
cultural zeitgeist that you just see as like integral.
They produce
to the
bangers.
portfolio.
I think so.
And like,
I think this drug in particular is like the drug.
I mean, especially the way Huberman talked about it, like where he was like, dude, this is the drug. Like he's hearing this from all the bodybuilders, all the celebrities. He even called them out. He's like, you see them, they look different. They won't tell you. I know, they've told me.
Like I wish I had the data, but I would use Nick's investment analyst tool to do this. I'd be like, give me the price performance of Pfizer post Viagra development. And
as like a corollary.
Yeah, give me like what happens when you get the drug and like what happens to the stock when you get the drug. I think this is the drug.
There's also a little compounding effect because they stash the cash coffers, and if they are investing in R&D, they can continue to pump these out.
Yeah, and I think like the big difference for me is that Eli Lilly is an American company and they're going to honor the patent protection.
Yeah. I guess there's like some kind of legal debate over this drug. I forget what it's about, but it's the difference of how long the patent length is, and they're already going to battle over it because they know it's going to be a winner and they want it to last as long as possible.
This is common. So you like extend the life from like 7 to 10 years.
Yeah, exactly.
10 to 12. You like always try to.
Yeah. Okay.
Dude, the longevity game is about to get so interesting.
Did you see that Bryan Johnson unleashed a $1 million? Is it a year? I think it might be. Price level for his longevity kind of program. So he said, hey, we're going to open it up. You must have the commitment to do what basically I'm doing. You need $1 million and you need a personal assistant so that you're not doing all these appointments and all this stuff. And he got like 1,500 applicants.
1,500?
Damn, I was going to say like 15.
I think he was thinking he would like get in 5. And he had 1,500 people be like, yep, I'll pay that.
We're going to be harvesting blood boys. Children.
I got to pee.
Okay, well, let's chop it up. Let's end it.
Yeah, I got to pee too.
Okay. Thanks, guys. we have to pee or else
What did
we'd be doing clavicular
I really
10
have to go. I'm sorry, but I've been holding.
All right, it's been fun. We'll see you guys next
long
week.
time.
See you. I'll run you.
God damn, that clavicle is good looking.